Didn't really care for Ash either, but if push comes to shove, I'm taking Ash over Duvally. So this is about his friend who's trying to revive the gang Fafnir. If it's going to be bugging you anyway, why not see what he has to say? You must at least have an inkling as to why he wants to talk to you, right? Well, yeah, if I consider the circumstances around the guy. Still, though, you have more reason to tie up loose ends now, right? To make sure you don't regret it down the line. I'll be there alongside you, of course, as your instructor and as a fellow member of Class 7. Man, Teach, you just love nosing down people's drama, don't you? I get what you're saying, though. Can't really move forward when you're knee-deep in yesterday's bullshit. Alright, bring in a Valmarsh for us, or I want to settle this. You got it, Ash. Ash called Brad back to talk. They met at Deckens and Raquel, and Brad told Ash everything. Ash. I'm glad you're here, and you too, Instructor. Just thought I'd drop by. You've got some nerve calling me up after bringing back Fafnir and trying to sell me out. I feel so bad about that. It's like I was possessed or something. And I couldn't think of anyone else who could help us with this. Please help me, I don't know what to do. Seems like things are pretty serious. Alright, we'll hear you out. So you and your friends committed blackmail and other misdemeanors. In the shadows was your informant Miguel. Yeah, that's basically it. At first he was just doing stuff like showing us the perfect places to extort people, but then he made me do all sorts of stuff because I owed him or something. I had to bring some product from Ordis without the Imperial Defense Force busting me. You mean... sounds pretty sketchy. Yeah, and recently he's been asking for some pretty major stuff. To top it all off, we almost got dragged into some shady business of his not too long ago. If this keeps going on, we're seriously gonna end up at the point of no return. I get it. So we had you move some product, huh? Ash. It's nothing, alright. Long story short, you realize the error in your way is because you're in way over your head and you're scared. Now you know how stupid you were to bring Fafnir back and do whatever the hell you want right before the war, huh? So what? Is there something wrong with me realizing that? It's just you went off to join that military academy and then I heard you shot the Emperor of all people. So this old dude told me I could be the top dog around town, I thought, yeah, why not? Looks like the curse worked its way in with people with all that emotional turmoil. Yeah, I get it. I'm the reason why. Probably for that moron, too. In that case, I gotta set things straight, huh? Ash, are you okay? You look like you're back to normal. Well, back to being a goofball. Don't worry about it. Leave the rest to me, Brad. I'll talk it over with the old man. I've got some stuff I want to ask him myself anyway. You do? Anyway, we'll have you be of use here. Got it? Let's go look for some clues. Reed and Ash began asking around about Miguel. The rumors they heard pointed to him being somewhere outside town with a new shipment of goods. Eventually they tracked him down. Alright, this should be enough. Raquel's punks ain't gonna use more than this. About time we move on. Well, that trip back to town should do it. Oh, where are you planning on scuttling off to next? What the Ash? And the Ashen Chevalier? How's it hanging, Miguel? Been a while since that whole cleaning thing. You've been helping out with Brad and the others. Hello, Miguel. I haven't seen you since our old field exercises. Hope you realize I'm not gonna let you get away with anything that might put young people in danger. Now we'd like you to tell us about whatever it is you brought here from Ordis. I don't know what Brad's been telling you, but you've got me all wrong. I seek out young people with potential and teach them the value of hard work, that's all. Shipping these things is just another aspect of that. A gun? So this is your new product, huh? It's an old Rhineford model. I'm guessing there's more in the container. That's right, I've got contacts in the military who've helped me build up a decent stash little by little. I mean, no one knows for sure what's going to happen to the world after this war starts. So you gotta be prepared. Savvy folks from all over the continent are already putting together hidden weapon caches. The way I see it, I could make a fortune supplying them with the kind of high-quality arms they'll be needing. That's really low. Wait, so you're a war profiteer now? That's a pretty drastic change from when you only dealt in information. Not to mention how fast you get all these weapons together all on your own. I figured that wouldn't be possible without the right connections and know-how. What aren't you telling us? Now that you mention it, something does seem off. It's simple, really. I wasn't always an informant until a little more than 10 years ago as a merchant working in a different kind of market. Some of the secret supply routes I learned from about back then are coming in handy now, that's all. Now I'm done talking, you're gonna let me through or what? Can't keep my customers waiting. What is it, Ash? Don't go making any sudden moves. Look, Miguel, I don't give a rat's ass where you go next, but there's one thing I gotta ask you first. Thought we were done here. Was it you? Were you the one who got me out of Hummel? Hey, where's this coming from? Ash, do you mean? 14 years ago, a merchant helped me escape from Hummel and into Raquel. By the time I was old enough to understand, the merchant had already disappeared, and I had no idea where he went. But what you just said just now, that you were a merchant more than 10 years ago, well, things just clicked. Now I see. How long have we known each other, Miguel? From my first days in Raquel, from when I got adopted, since I could remember, basically. You were involved with all of that, weren't you? I mean, you weren't exactly a good influence. You even sold me out to the Jaegers that one time. I always thought that you were one of the most deadbeat pieces of crap around. But you still showed up at Mom's funeral and made a donation. That just felt so out of place for a small-time crook like you. I figured you must have had some ulterior motive. But looking at it now, I can't help but wonder if you felt some kind of an obligation toward me. If I got it wrong, go ahead and set me straight. When did you get so sharp, kid? I wanted to take this to the grave, but I guess my secret's out. It's true, then. Every word. 14 years ago, I was peddling my wares out by Parm. If I hadn't stopped for a smoke that night, I might never have met you. Whoa, take it easy, kid. What are you doing out on the road by yourself? Was that a gunshot? How's going on? This can't be good. Come on, kid, let's get you out of here. I grabbed you and put you on the first train I could find. But you wouldn't say a damn word to me even after we got to Raquel. Didn't know what to make of that. I thought maybe you had mixed up in some bad business, and then the soldiers came for me. I don't know how they found out, but they knew I'd helped you get away. Forget about everything that happened that night and ditch the kid. You'll be helping secure the future of the Empire. It's in your best interest to comply. We can pay whatever you want. Not a bad deal, huh? A deal, huh? Sounds like more like a threat. You were trying to cover up what Osborne did to Hummel. Hate to sound heartless, but I was eager for any excuse to get rid of you. So I took their mirror and gave you to one of the hostesses at my favorite club. I knew she wouldn't put you out on the street. She was quite the woman, taking in a kid she knew next to nothing about and raising you as her own. You're telling me. So you see, I didn't really do anything that bad. I got you away from Hummel in one piece and even set you up with a new family. Was it so much for me to collect a little compensation in return? Yeah, that's all there is to it. I cut my ties to you and got on with my life. Our past doesn't mean shit to me right now. You're nothing but some punk who's standing in the way of me and my business. So damn it, why can't I pull the trigger? You're a traitor, a criminal. You shot the Emperor, for crying out loud. No one's gonna miss you. I took the damn money. I washed my hands of you. You're nothing to me, nothing. So why can't I? So that's it. Guess that explains the sudden shift in your business model. I knew you're not gonna admit it, but when you took that deal, it messed you up on the inside. You knew it was wrong. You've been carrying that guilt with you ever since. That's what the curse wormed its way into your heart and turned you into a real crook. The hell are you talking about? Don't act like you know me. If I'm wrong, then why do you look like you're in so much pain? It's written all over your face, moron. You've been running from your sins all this time, but you can't just let them go. Ash, to be honest, I don't really give a shit how far you fall. But there's something you should know. Right up until she passed, Mom was still smiling. She said it was a blessing having me in her life. Go figure, right? She also told me she wished she could thank the guy who brought us together. And I feel the same. I wouldn't be here right now if it weren't for you, and I wouldn't change a thing about the time I had with my mom. Well, it might have been nice if she'd been a better cook, but you can't win them all. As far as I'm concerned, my hometown isn't Hummel, it's Raquel, the town you brought me to. One of these days, I'll find a way to pay you back for everything you've done for me. I don't regret joining the academy or trying to find out about my past. That was my own choice. Because then I got to meet Kurt, Philly, Bunny, Phony Locks. They're not a bad bunch. Hell, even some of the instructors are okay, I guess. So I figure I gotta at least say thank you. Not just for me, but for Mom, too. The curse, it's... For a kid who couldn't talk at first, you sure grew up to have quite a mouth on you. Look at me, getting all sentimental. I feel like such a chump. But hey, all this goes as far as you getting me off the streets. Huh? Leading Brad astray and selling me out during the field exercises? Now that's a different story. I think you got a little debt to be paid, you feel me? That ought to straighten the shit out. Man, that felt good. You're enjoying this a little too much. Hope this did you some good, Ash. Though now free from the curse, Miguel and Brad still had plenty of crimes to answer for. After turning them over to the authorities, Rain summoned Valimar to return him and Ash to the Courageous too. You had me worried there for a minute. Glad it all worked out. Trust me, I was just surprised to find out Miguel's the guy I owe my life to. At least now I feel like I can let the past go. Well, that's good. I'm happy for you. Right? Right. Enough sappy shit. Let's get back to the others. Fair enough, Ash. Fair enough. Even with the mask and everything we saw at their HQ, I'm sure we've only seen the tip of the iceberg with what the workshop's capable of. You can expect there'll be a big threat moving forward. We can't let our guard down with them. Celine's been an invaluable asset to us. This might be a good opportunity. Not to change the subject, but would you come down to the surface with me later? I'd like to give you something special from over around Parm. What's gotten into you? Since when do you invite me out to places? I was just thinking that I hadn't properly thanked you for all the work you did for me back at the Black Workshop. I've actually been meaning to since way back during the Civil War. I'd say I'm long overdue for that by now, right? I told you, it was all just part of the mission. I guess you'll throw a fuss no matter what I say. Well, far be it for me to turn you down. Just make sure you pick out something nice. And edible. Preferably edible. You can try to catch her a crab to eat. Reen and Celine headed to Parm to find a suitable gift. They went around visiting shops and stalls selling accessories made with the Spain town's famous artisan-dyed fabrics. After a while, they decided to stop by the inn for a break, where they had some snacks and farm-fresh milk. They then continued their search, but were unable to find a suitable gift. As their hopes began to wane, they decided to check one more place, the dressmaker shop. It was there that Reen's gaze fell into a certain something. Is that a Misc? Sorry to keep you waiting, Celine. What took you so long? I had to explain to the shopkeeper what I was looking for. Got this made to order. That's... When I saw those beautifully dyed fabrics, I immediately thought of getting you a new ribbon. But while the shopkeeper was making one for me, I found a matching choker, too. Looks good on you. Thanks a lot. The pink looks pretty great against my black fur. Right? I knew you'd like it. It should suit you when you're in your other form, too. Just don't expect me to make a habit of shape-shifting. It's for special occasions only. For someone as clueless about social interactions as you, this was very thoughtful. What is it? I was just thinking. We've known each other for a long time, haven't we? Remember the first time we spoke? It was during the Civil War. We piloted Valimar together. Now we joke around with each other, and you've even seen my human form. I never expected our friendship would bloom like this myself. I'm really glad it did, though. Thank you for being such a good friend, Celine. Knock it off, you're making too much of a deal of it. I don't want to have regrets later about things left unsaid. No telling if we'll get to hang out like this again, considering the situation. Might sound cheesy, but I was being sincere. Reen. You know, I'm not good with this touchy-feely stuff, though. The things you make me do. No, don't do it, Celine! You're such an idiot, Reen. So this ribbon's what, a goodbye gift in case we never see each other after this? You don't seriously think this scrap of cloth is enough to pay me back for everything I've done over the years, do you? Huh? Don't imagine for a second that I'm gonna let you get away with this. I'm gonna get you for this. You think you're all that, huh? Huh? Celine, I'm not perfect by any means. I have my bad habits, and you're always quick to point out other failings of character I have. It's great that you do that. You're helping me become a better person, so thank you again. I consider you a work in progress. You're still a diamond in the rough, but I'll make sure you shine one day. One more thing, I've also benefited from our friendship, so I'd like to let you know you're not entirely useless. Were you just about to thank me? You wish. What I'm trying to say is you owe me, and maybe in some very minor ways I owe you too, so stick around till we're even, got it? Alright, sounds good to me. This ribbon really does look pretty on you. Stop trying to get on my good side after making me so angry. Reed and Celine were then discovered by a group of curious children who started asking about her ears and tail. The two quickly slipped out of town and headed back to the ship. So there you go. Actually, we did get something for that, but, got everything I need. Crow or Dina, are the two of you going somewhere? Yeah, it's just a little thing I need to take care of. Something I want to handle before the next rivalry. Something to take care of, huh? I mean, it's not the biggest thing in the world, man. Just some personal business. We're all trying to put things in order by the next rivalry, so you gotta make sure that you're all prepared too, alright? If you're heading down to take care of anything, just let me know, okay? What kind of business do you have to take care of? I have to admit I'm curious. Mind if I go with you, Crow? We're gonna be heading out there fighting together, so I want to make sure you got you're firing on all cylinders. Rain. Keep in mind it's not the fun kind of errand. Might be a good opportunity, though. I know they've been on your mind after all. Ooh. You'll figure it out soon enough. Alright, hurry up and get ready then. I'll be waiting here. Once Reen was ready, they set off from the Courageous Two with two Divine Knights. They decided to visit various regions to help Crow with his tasks. The Cathedral at St. Arc. What does he need to do here? There she is, just like I heard. Sorry, but can you wait a bit? Adios. Please find a way to forgive my grandson, Michael. It doesn't absolve his crime, but he was truly concerned for his country. I just pray that he can rest in peace. I pray for the same. What was that? These are his. Michael! Is it okay I just handed those over? I'm in no position to be forgiven, so on to the next. Michael, where have I... Damn fools, a lot of them, getting into this whole war. Red Constellation, Nidog, and even the former Northern Jaegers? What a mess, if only the boss and everyone could have... Sorry I couldn't get revenge. Huh? But it's good you survived. Take care of yourself, yeah? This is what he would have wanted. Vulcan, is this the boss's tag? Hey, you! Right then. Just gotta wait for someone to get in touch now. Sure. Piece together now, Crow. This is about them, isn't it? After returning to Valimar, Reen and the others received an unexpected message. George. Hey Reen, I should have known you'd get involved in this too. After I heard from Crow, I thought it might be a good time to reach out. Good thing you're still using your old number. So does this mean you found her? Yep, you're gonna have to make do with a voice call though. Here, I'll patch you through. Hello, can you hear me alright? It's her. Good to hear from you again, Scarlet. Same here, see? Crow, sorry. Still getting used to that. Never thought we'd get a chance to talk again. That's what she looks like. If you're wondering why they didn't show her, she has a different uniform now since she's a member of the... Well, she's a squire in the Grail Knights under Wazy. I don't know if we'll see her in black. I highly doubt it. It's gonna have to be like some sort of crossover game where we finally get to see her again. As for Reen, I guess we haven't spoken in a while either. Not since Berea Hard. Glad you're alright. Thought you'd still be locked up somewhere in Cruisin'. What can I say? This is business as usual for me. Right now I'm operating outside the Empire on board a Merkaba. You mean as a Growlsritter? Apparently he uses Flux's influence to have her released into protective custody. The Church took her past as a squire into account and allowed her to work as a kind of penance for her role in the Civil War. Wow, Eustace really came through. Can't imagine it's all footsies and tea parties, you being a former terrorist and all. It was pretty tough at first, but it's better now. Father Wazy and that Bald Knight are actually pretty reasonable when you sit down and talk to them. Some of the recruits here joined up around the same time as me, and they're interesting people here, so I'm not bored at all. That's great. Glad to know you're doing alright. I won't pretend I was a little discouraged when I found out Osborne had survived, but I was able to get past that and find a new path forward thanks to all of you. You have my gratitude. Right. Crow, I heard all about what you've been doing. Let's both do our best, not for revenge, but for them, and for the world too. Of course, let's do this thing right. So those people that we saw back there, were they really related to those in the Imperial Liberation Front? Yeah. Doing that's always been on my mind ever since I got my memories back. It's the least I can do to make up to the palace who went to Gehenna with me. I managed to find some people who knew Vulcan and Gideon, so I just decided to go forward with it. I see, though I have to say I'm surprised that the Church took her in. And that other guy, he must have had a lot of things on his mind. Well, in any case, it feels like I'm tying up some loose ends. Don't have to worry about it anymore in my final moments. Crow. Now I guess it's more like this is just the beginning, isn't it? They're back. Reen, Crow. Sheesh, where exactly did you two wander off to? Toa, Angelica? There's always a place and people to return to, even for us. For everyone's sake, including those who died, it's not over yet. We have to see it through to the end, and make it back alive no matter what. I guess you're right. First, there's the coming rivalry. We have to succeed. I'm kind on you, partner. Right. Afterward, they were met by Toa and Angelica and made it back safely to the Courageous. Once the Divine Knights were on board, they again set off. Just I don't care for the alternatives. Exorbitance like this is hardly the height of temperance, especially for a ship at the Church. Though this gigantic mirror is handy for perfecting my form, I'll admit. It's pretty decked out to be sure, all the better utilize our time with while we're flying around. May as well teach your pupils a thing or two in that case. Send me for training. It may just be as much of a boon for me as it will for them. Train with Duvley, huh? Even I'd have plenty to gain from that. Why don't we try it out right now, then? If that's alright with you, I mean. I'm sure you could use a warm-up after that rivalry. Besides, it might not be a bad idea to test out your lesson plan. Very well. Let's go down to the surface then. A room as small as this is no place to spar. Reen and Duvley traveled to the outskirts of Parm. And finding a large enough area, they began training. That's the Blade Lord move, in case you're wondering. That's some speed. No wonder they call you Duvley the Swift. It's not an epithet I take lightly. I'm just getting started, try to keep up. Otherwise you might die here. Duvley? Told you, didn't I? You and I, we are not friends. My cooperation with you is just a means to an end. If you stop being useful, I won't hesitate to get rid of you. Reen Schwarzer, I stand before you not as an ally, but as a stalwart of the society. You have no right to hold back as you would against a friend or a student. Show me your true power. Duvley. Alright, I'm going all out. Duvley's training session now began in earnest. Throughout the battle, Reen was able to control his ogre power. Slowly but surely, he started to adjust to Duvley's speed. She's so fast. Don't get distracted by the clones. There's still only one of her. Keep it together, Reen. The place you need to strike is... there. Duvley, are you okay? A single attack won't put me out of action. You deserve praise for enduring that last blow, though. Seems you're not without hope after all. We'll see if you can replicate this performance in the future, though. Thanks, Dooley. It's been a while since I was able to fight this seriously. Don't tell me you're used to training like this every day. Well, there was never any shortage of strong sparring opponents at the Society. Ines, Inea, our Lord Arianrod, even the Blade Lord himself. The Blade Lord, I've heard a lot about him. Louve. Tita and Agate seem to know him. He was Ouroboros' enforcer number 2 in his survival of Hamel, right? Hamel? But they have of there twice. And according to what Randy told me, he's even a match for the great Dooley the Swift in battle. Yes, I may have told the Triple S something like that. In truth, though, my skills don't even begin to compare with his. The sense of conviction, no, the sense of carnage in every swing of his sword is like nothing I've ever seen before. Carnage. Justice without the power to execute it is no justice at all. He and the Steel Maiden may follow different schools, but they agreed on this point. In the end, I'm no more than a mere child who's been allowed to live in their world. I was born into a minor noble family in the outskirts of the continent, but I lost everyone I loved in a bandit attack. Lord Arianrod found me and took me in. Any kind of strength I may have achieved I owe entirely to her. Dooley, I had no idea. Thank you for telling me about that. Now more than ever I know the path we need to take. You may not consider us friends, but we're not enemies anymore either. At the very least, we share a common goal. So I'll do everything in my power to help you achieve it. Whatever happens, just try to remember that you don't have to shoulder this burden all alone. Right. Coming from you, that's hardly encouraging. But I have to admit, I'm not likely to find my lord by myself. I'll be kind of you to do your part, Schwarzer. Sure, anytime. After taking a break, Reen and Dooley returned to the Merkaba. Wow. Okay. Next person we're looking for is Elliot Craig. Why don't we listen in together, Elliot, if you don't mind, that is. I'm really curious about what kind of program this is myself. You're always welcome to sit in with me, Reen. It's just about to start. Do me a favor, though. Try not to get too lost in it, okay? What's that supposed to mean? Is it another Abend time? Before long, the Imperial Chronicles radio music program had begun. The next song is a cover of a classic oldie from a pair of young performers rapidly gaining both eyes and ears in Heimdall. Here's To My Dear in a Far Off Land by Ron and Morris. What the? What's with the song? It's as if my heart is pounding just from listening to it. There it is, I knew it. I don't know if that's the theme song for this game or not. This renowned piece was covered to inspire bravery among all our soldiers marching out to face this coming war. I just know that late Leanna Craig, the amazing performer behind the original, is right at Adios' side, delighted with this tribute to her work. Now, our next song is... Hey, Elliot? That song, and the pair performing it. Yeah, the piece was one my mom had originally written. And the ones covering it were Ron and Morris, friends of mine from the Music Academy. We met them during one of our field stays, as I recall. One of them works for the Revel Company now, right? Yeah, Kalinka. She contacted me just the other day, actually. Ron and Morris were expected to join the Imperial Orchestra, but they ended up making their debut as a duo instead. They specialize in martial music designed to heighten the audience's inclinations toward war. That song incorporated several melodies tailored specifically to induce aggression within its listeners. It definitely got my heart pumping, but could a song really do that on its own? Then again, considering the spread of the Empire's curse, not to mention your own performances. Well, like I always say, that's the power of music. My mom originally wrote that song with my dad in mind. He was set to head out with the army on one of their campaigns. And now Ron and Morris are. Elliot? Guess they succeeded in a way. Feel more motivated to catch up with them now than ever. We have an announcement to make for all you loyal listeners out there. Ron and Morris, two of the house performers around, are currently on a provincial tour through Lemaire. In fact, they're scheduled to perform an outdoor concert in Raquel later today, so if you're around, we definitely recommend stopping by. Let's go crash it, Elliot. Look at that, guess my chance arrived quicker than I expected. Would you mind coming with me, Reen? I have a few thoughts I'd like to share with my friends. Of course, Elliot. Let me grab my baseball bat. I'll help you out whatever way I can. We're gonna go make a smash hit or two. Afterward, Elliot prepared to set out for Raquel. Meanwhile, Reen went with Valimar to pick up someone at Elliot's request. Probably Fiona. Could be Kalinka. And that's our show. Thank you all for coming. That was a beautiful melody. I could feel my spirits lift with each note I heard. Yeah, I can't wait to crush the Republic. Wonder when I'll get my draft card. Hope it's soon. Hey now. This all feels disturbingly familiar. Our tour has been a great success, wouldn't you say? Yeah, that piece seemed to really speak to them all. Let's do it, Morris. In our next Eastern tour, we should play our own music. Is that really your music? Kalinka. Elliot? And you, what are you doing here, Kalinka? Shouldn't you be in the capital? I would go anywhere for a dear friend. Since everyone's here, why don't we perform something together? We present to you, my dear, in a far-off land. This piece, it sounds like the one we just heard. It's not quite the same, but it feels tranquil somehow. Stop it, they came to listen to our music. No, this isn't your music. This isn't your music at all. Wake up, Ron, Morris. Remember what we learned at the Music Academy? Well, even if it's the original, we won't be outdone by you two. There's no way we're letting you get all the good parts. You guys. Hope you all enjoy the show. Bravo. That last piece was amazing. It fired me up to work 100 times harder. No, you better not play that often, alright? Thanks, guys. That was quite the performance. Sorry for barging in on you, though. Elliot, how can you smile like that? I mean, we ruined your mom's song, didn't we? And we used it to stir up the war. I never liked that groupie joint. I never liked that the groupie joint started playing only military music since last year. But to make a debut like this, could it be an order from the army? Yeah, that's right, but it's us that jumped on it. They said, don't you want to be a big success like Elliot Craig? Oh. So they made us play military music. What's so bad about trying to get your foot in the door? You don't understand how it feels to be us. Being a young musician with a successful tour or carving out a career path in the Revel Company? We all graduate from the same academy. We'll do anything so we can make our own music. You guys. This is how the curse of the Empire is manifesting. You two haven't changed. When you were in the academy, you loved music and believed in its power. Seems you still hold that faith. I felt that when you played Mom's music. The blood, sweat, and tears you poured into it. And the guilt weighing down your heart. You must have practiced day and night to make it even better. That's... Turning the piece into a militaristic melody really hurt at first, but I was also impressed as a musician. You managed to make it a piece with power. I don't agree with stoking up war, but even I have to be impressed at what you've done using the power of music. That might be the real reason I called Kalinka and butted in like that. Elliot. I just want you both to think about what you really want to do, about what sort of music you want to make, and what message you really want to send. Then you won't have anything to regret, and you'll be able to play music that really moves people. That's what I've been able to do with Reen in Class 7. Glad to hear you feel that way, Elliot. And you say we're the ones who never change. I thought you came just to break up what we were doing here at first. Of course not. Music is never a crime. But that doesn't mean I'm going to let up. Not even for a second. I'll keep fighting until this curse stoking the flames of war is broken for good. Elliot. Thank you. I feel like you've opened our eyes a little. There's a mountain of work from the army waiting for us when we get back to the capital. But we'll take this opportunity to reconsider our path and work out what it is we really want to do. And we'll pour a lot of thought into how to best pursue our music from now on. No matter what form it ends up taking, we'll embrace it. We're professional musicians, after all. Oh, sounds perfect. I'll be looking forward to when we have a chance to perform together again. With that, Ron, Morris, and Kalinka return to Heimdall on the train. Like plebs. Thank you, Reen, for indulging me. Anytime, Elliot. I'm glad to see you sticking to your principles. I'm sure that if you keep investing your all into your music, you'll reach your potential and then some. Well, I've only got as far as I have because you've always encouraged me. Channeled all that we've overcome together to make my music even stronger. And that's why I had the courage to say everything I did to Ron and Morris. Inspiring as always, Elliot. Thanks for everything, Reen. Likewise. So yeah, she's looking about the independent stuff. Maybe I can help you sort out your thoughts while I'm here. Two heads are bound to be better than one, right? That's true, I think I'll take you up on that. Reen and Yuna then began looking into the possibility of future independence for Crossbell, debating the details and adjusting their points. The subject was a difficult one, with many disparate elements to consider. Crossbell's earlier declaration as an independent state, the Imperial occupation, and so forth. Eventually, even Muse and the old Class 7 joined in the discussion, each contributing their own take on the matter and from an international framework. That was just what I needed. I was finally able to clear my head a bit thanks to you and Muse and everyone else from old Class 7. Should guess there'd be some challenges to Crossbell regaining its independence after all. Unfortunately so, the incident that broke out with Dieter Qua led to Crossbell being marked as the City of Sin. Not to mention the rest of the corruption that infested Parliament and the countless terrorist attacks perpetrated in the shadows. But that was all suppressed thanks to Governor General Rufus, so that's also something to consider. So complicated. Even if we survive all this end-of-the-world stuff, we'll still have a massive pile of problems to solve. I feel like I finally get it now, what Lloyd and the others are fighting for. Independence isn't something that can be won easily, not even close, but they still give it all they've got. Guess I shouldn't be surprised. And what about you, Yuna? Are you planning to give up with all these obstacles blocking the way? What? No, never. Even if we're a part of Ereboni now, we'll always be Crossbell. We'll take pride in that. Of course, I know we've lost our home in a physical sense. But even if the people of Crossbell can find a way to stay true to themselves, we'll never lose that pride. Maybe that's it. Maybe there is a way for Crossbell and Ereboni to coexist together. If both sides hold their heads high, I'm sure we'll carve out the path between us, and then fight to the death when you get there, right? Yuna. I think you might have just stumbled on a hint to all this. You've grown so much since we started, it's incredible. Jeez, he's so much sometimes. Guess old habits die hard.
Well, I mean, of course I have. After all, I've learned more in Class 7 than I ever could have imagined. And, it may not be obvious, but I'm actually the kind of girl who thrives on positive reinforcement, you know?
I see. Let's keep giving it all we've got, Yuna. I'm behind you every step of the way.
Wait. What's gotten into me? I'm not... Am I?
Useless. You know, we still have some time until this afternoon. Want to head to Rhyhard with me? Doubt the Imperial Defense Force will be expecting you to return now of all times. And with Valimar. Though we might just be able to make it through. Alright then, let's go. We need to settle this for our old sake as well. God, let's get ready. So that's it, folks. The final one is between Yuna and Misc. They then headed for cruising in eastern Ereboni with Valimar at full power. With Arnold providing internal information, Control's requested they successfully create a break in the Imperial Defense Force's guard. And then... I must apologize for this inexcusable inconvenience I forced upon you both, as if matters weren't already complicated enough. I never would imagine I would put you through such straits as these. You're already in a precarious position, and I've only given you cause for even more worry. I'll hear nothing of the sort, Arnold. You're doing more than anyone could ever ask. We can't stay long, but I assure you I'll do my utmost to reduce the brunt of your workload while we're here. I'd like to lend a hand as well, though I can't handle much more than paperwork, I'm afraid. Thank you, I'm forever in your debt. Oh, and Arnold, regarding those arrangements that I contacted you about... Eustace? Pretty sure that was the kid that... It is Eustace. We haven't seen you in forever, Eustace. Rabbi, you can't just tackle him like that. Ease up a little bit. No, I don't mind at all, really. I'm just glad to see you two looking so well. You too, Eustace. Welcome back. Thanks so much, both of you. Eustace. Eustace made a request of Arnold and then began scanning through the documents I had stacked up in the office. Reen joined in and got straight to organizing the paperwork as well. I'm done with these here, Eustace. Excellent, I really appreciate the help, Reen. Just a little more and I'll be finished too. We'll have Arnold put on some tea when he gets back. In the meantime, make yourself at home if you like. Sure, thanks. Seems I stirred up a fuss over so little. Still, I'll admit that tackle earlier caught me a bit off guard. Eustace. It was right when I began acting as Duke, the first time she came by the mansion to see me, I mean. She visited a number of times without any word of warning, and always shared her latest intel, from operations to students to what have you. Past that, we'd indulge in tea, snacks, and more relaxed conversation. It's hard to believe anything about Milliam's relaxed. Milliam, what brings you here all of a sudden? Hey, Eustace, I'm in the neighborhood for some work. Great timing, huh? I just had to stop by. How have you been feeling lately? How have you been lately? How many times must I tell you to behave as a lady of your age? Your family's got the best tea and cakes, hands down, Eustace. You're getting a bit on your face there, Milliam. Really? Mind getting it for me? Hey, Dios, what am I ever gonna do with you? She'd really become like a sister to me. Thinking about it now, she probably was concerned for me from as far back as even before our graduation. I stepped up as a Duke at a time when I was dealing with my father's arrest and my brother keeping his distance, and she supported me through it all. She sure did. Now, of everyone in Class 7, Milliam was brimming with potential, the absolute most, wasn't she? Even now, I bet she would have been. What we ought to do is focus on what's to come. Milliam protected us and provided the opportunity for a future beyond all this turmoil. So our only goal now is to ensure we protect this world no matter what. And when that future finally comes, we'll be there to witness it for her, who deserve to see its fruition most of all. That way, Milliam will always carry on, in our hearts as well. So you can never give up on yourself, Reed, no matter what circumstances you face. Even after we get past this, we each have much to do, don't we? You're absolutely right. I hear you loud and clear, Eustace, and rest assured I don't intend on ever giving up on myself, no matter what. Let's keep on facing toward the future, whatever it may throw at us, for Milliam's sake. You needn't tell me twice. Pardon my intrusion. I've gone and picked up the sword you had sharpened. Perfect. Many thanks, Arnold. That sword. This would be the Holy Sword of Elvars. I sent it to an artisan I know to sharpen it back up to proper form. It's a blade that's been handed down in the family for generations, together with its sibling sword which my brother possesses. I see. You're not one to roll over in defeat, are you? Certainly not. I plan to overcome whatever stands in our way. You and Irene, side by side, let's take hold of our destiny and forge the future we want to steal. You got it. For Millium. They then managed to escape Braehard before the Imperial Defense Force came back. So now we have the Holy Sword Elvars. It's an event item. Go to the item section of the camp menu and change the appearance of useless weapons.
The Holy Sword of Vishnard.
That's one of the twin blades the Alvarea family used to slay Nosferatu in ages past.
Usus, you too?
Is that the other one?
Ah, so Arnaud delivered the Holy Sword of Elvars to you. This is simply perfect. We can have ourselves one more sparring match before the rivalry.
Do as you wish, but we must begin our preparations.
Kurt, what are you reading? Instructor, it's a letter from Mueller, actually. He gave it to me before he left. The Lieutenant Colonel, huh? He gave you a letter even though you were face-to-face. That's right, I found it rather curious myself. I only just started to read it, but... well, it's more of a family matter than anything, really. No need to concern yourself over it. He wrote to me to take care of it when I have the time. That said, preparing for the Sanctuary should be our foremost priority at the moment. Lieutenant Colonel Mueller wouldn't write a letter like this for no reason. Plus, I admit I am curious. I'd say you have plenty of time, Kurt. After all, this is my own people's family matters we're talking here, not some strangers. And they misspelled stranger there. If I can help in any way, all you have to do is let me know. I'll be there for you best I can. Instructor. Thank you so much. I know I can be somewhat of a burden at times. There's a certain place I'd like to go. Could I get you to accompany me? Reen and Kurt set off together. Along the way, they talked about the contents of the letter. The Heimdall military police aren't here. Maybe they were relocated when this became a conscription office. Their forces were diverted to the Heimdall area, so the local offices are empty. There you are, Kurt. Hello, Mueller. We meet again, Lieutenant Colonel. Yes, long time no see, Reen. I apologize for calling you away for this. I'm sure you have more pressing matters to attend to. It's no problem. I'm here to lend Kurt my full support as his instructor. And if that was enough of a reason, you did go out of your way to delegate me as his partner. I still can't quite believe it. Did you really find Roland's twin swords? It's true. Well, would you look at that? Roland Vander was a legendary knight who protected Emperor Dreichels during the War of the Lions. He met his end in that war, and the twin swords he'd wielded were lost. We stumbled upon them while we were raiding the Courageous too. It was as if something led us to them. As if fate demanded they be found in this current era. You know what I summoned you here for, don't you, Kurt? Indeed, I read the letter. You want me to have Roland's twin swords under one condition. Instructor Reen and I go through with this trial of yours. Forgive my asking, but why am I included in this? This seems to be Vander family business. I'm not even trained in the School of Swordsmanship. I understand how arbitrary all this must feel to you, but it wasn't my decision to make. The moment I grasped the sword, I sensed Roland's will. The two of you stand before me as the successor of Roland's dual blade style and the inheritor of the Ashen Knight. Moreover, your relationship's not unlike Roland and Emperor Dreichels, who cut their way through the War of the Lions side by side. Roland died before his time. I refuse to stand by and let history repeat itself with you, Kurt. That's why you must prove yourself more able than him. And you, Ashen Chevalier, show me you've surpassed Dreichels himself. Are you seeing this aura coming off the swords? So we've got to defeat both you and Roland in spirit. Very well, I accept the challenge. I've long looked up to you and my ancestor of legend. If it's a test of mettle you want, I'll face you both head on. Well said, Kurt. If it's the two of us, I'm sure we can accomplish this much. Let's do it, Kurt. And so their fierce battle with Mueller began. Mueller, boosted by Roland's spirit, came at them with power even more crushing than they'd seen at the Infernal Castle. But Rean and Kurt struck in perfect sync with each other, managing to turn the battle into an even match. And then... now. Not too shabby at all. Indeed, well done. Roland's equally impressed by the ability you've demonstrated today. You've earned the right to wield his swords, Kurt. Thank you, Mueller. So, how do they look? They fit you perfectly, Kurt. You certainly look the part as Roland's successor. I'm proud of you, Kurt. Encouraging you to join the branch campus was definitely the right choice. That means a lot to hear. I'm well aware I've yet to reach the heights of swordsmanship or experience you, Father and Roland have, but I've managed to gain so many things nobody else ever could. And I owe it all to the friends I've come to bond with, including Instructor Rean. Couldn't have said better myself, Kurt. Working together, I know we'll reach even greater heights. Of course. Rean and Kurt bid Mueller farewell, wishing to see him sooner rather than later. They returned to the courageous Kurt carrying his new swords with undisguised joy and astonishment. So now we have Roland's swords. So just like with Eustace, you can equip those. Certain someone's been attached to Ortis recently. So we'll go pay a visit. So other than Machias, we're going to be doing the romance events. Even with the Imperial Defense Force there, we might stand a chance if we go with Valimar, Rean, you mean it? There's actually a few things I've been wanting to check over there. If we could just get in touch with my dad and help him work this out, it'd mean the world to me. No time to waste then, let's get going. After contacting Governor Regnance, the two headed to Ortis with Valimar's help. One of the governor's subordinates was waiting for them in Ortis and escorted them to the mansion with the utmost secrecy. Thank you, Machias and Rean. You risked a lot to come back here. I only meant to report on what was happening lately. I guess I made you worry. We just wanted to check in and make sure everything was alright. Seems like new problems are sprouting up faster than weeds. Right, like the National Mobilization Laws Conscription Requisitions Council. Yes, whereas the Government Accountability Inspectorate falls under the judicial branch. The Ministry of Justice is an executive agency where the Conscription Requisitions Council was only recently established. As the name suggests, they have the authority to requisition and conscript according to the law. So one of the council members sent to Ortis is now carrying out the law. But this person is only targeting nobles. Yes, that's the information I received from Vincent and the Floral family. They seem to be covertly seizing assets way beyond what the law permits. Some noble families are now on the verge of bankruptcy. They're taking this way too far. It's almost as if they have a grudge against nobles. But that can't be right, they're nobility themselves. Indeed. One of them is the son of a count who was once in marriage talks with the Cayenne family. Depending on what happens to go against the secret non-intervention agreement with the nobles that Hugo and Vincent negotiated. I don't have the authority to execute anything now, but it's necessary to have oversight as a member of the Inspectorate. Well, I'll do all I can to help out now that I'm here. But this all sounds very familiar. Part of the intrusion, Governor Regnance. Has something happened? One of the council members is currently exercising their duties in the harbor. The cargo transport ship shared by the noble families has been forcibly requisitioned. Well, grab a baseball bat and we'll take care of this in a dark alley. Make sure there are no cameras around. Alright, let's get started. It shouldn't take too long since we're splitting the documents between us. Once they've been categorized, we'll set them out to the appropriate squadrons. Understood? You guys. What are you kids doing here? This is a restricted area. Hey, you in the glasses, haven't I seen you somewhere before? You know these guys, Machias? Yeah, I had a feeling we would meet them here. It's been a while, Arthur. Haven't seen you since his funeral. You mean... Wow, first I get to see your dad again, and now you, Machias. It's good to see you. Sounds like you've been doing some good work at Thor's with the Government Accountability Inspectorate. Man, you've really grown. If I remember right, Machias' cousin was in a relationship with a noble son of a count. But the Cayenne family butted in and caused everything to fall apart. And I hear you're no longer at City Hall. You were part of the executive committee that pushed the national mobilization law through, right? Yes, I applied right after that law was passed. I didn't ask to be transferred to Ordis, that was just coincidence. After everything that happened, I figured I was in no position to face you or your father. I see. I'm not here in any official capacity, but there's still something I need to ask you. What exactly were you planning when you seized that ship? According to my father, the nobility intended it to be an emergency resource for refugees and victims of war. Even with the national mobilization law in place, seasoned supplies meant to support the citizens won't be allowed. Under normal circumstances, I'd agree with you. But the law can be interpreted in a lot of different ways. I've already had this policy approved by the committee. I argue that since nobles have resources to spare, they should shoulder the lion's share of the burden. That's how you got around it. So it's true you're not even hiding the fact that you're robbing the nobility blind. This is a blatant abuse of statutory interpretation. With all your experience, you have to know that. Machias, you remember the Civil War. You were there, after all. You've seen firsthand the suffering the nobles' foolishness has caused. And the four great houses are the worst of all. Yes, they've paid reparations, but it's not enough. They've held back the progress of the Empire and its people for generations. We have to make them pay for everything they've done. If we are to overcome this war and create a brighter future, they must pay. What? Is this? I thought so. Arthur, listen to me. You can't do this. This isn't what Elsa would want. What? This whole time I've been trying to understand why you'd support the national mobilization law. I mean, you're from a noble family yourself. Why would you be so harsh on other nobles? But I think I have my answer now. You've never forgiven yourself for Elsa's death. The pressure from the nobility, the things you said, they've been weighing on you all these years. I tried to reason with her. Even if we couldn't get married, I'd still take care of her. Being a rich man's mistress isn't a bad life. So why? Why did she kill herself? What am I saying? What good will it do me to repent now, when it's too late? You see, you've regretted it all this time, and those feelings festered. Forgive me, but I've been keeping tabs on you in my spare time. After Elsa died, you left City Hall and continued working for a different department. Your ties with the Cayenne household were completely cut, and you were as good as disowned by your own family. Despite all that, in your own way, you've been trying to change the Empire's nobility. It's been to atone for what happened to Elsa, isn't it? Oh. I don't deserve those words. Believe me, I know how you feel. Back then I hated the nobles and how powerless I was to change anything. You must have lost any remaining faith in them thanks to the Civil War. So you used the national mobilization law to erode their power and put them in the line of fire. But this isn't right. It doesn't matter what dirty tactics your foes use or how much the odds are stacked against you. I believe in the law. If we really want to change the world, we have to do it by the book. Damn it, I know. I tried to do things legit, but it wasn't enough. No one's ever going to change anything that way. Not alone, we can't. I can only speak for myself, but I haven't given in yet. My cousin's death hit me hard. Just like you, I started to give in to my hatred. But the time I spent in Class 7 gave me a new outlook on the world and led me to the Inspectorate. I know there's a better way out there for you. I'll help you find it. It's the least I can do for the man my cousin loved. Machias. Machias? You really have become a fine young man. But me? I haven't grown as a person at all. How can I ever face you or your father after everything I've done? You shouldn't worry so much. Just come forward and face us head on. Governor Regnitz. For better or worse, I'm going to stick out my post as Imperial Government from here on. But I can't do it alone. I'm going to need the help of young talent like Green and Machias. That goes for you too, Arthur. We've worked together before and we can work together again. I think this is what Elsa would want. Yeah, I agree. What do you say, Arthur? Will you work with us to change this country for the better? Machias. I messed up again, didn't I? I'm sorry, Elsa. What have I done? Arthur released the cargo ship and returned it to its rightful owner. Though he'd continue working with the National Mobilization Law Committee, he promised to change his ways and revise the requisition policies. Here I grab my baseball bat for nothing. Looks like it turned out okay, huh, Machias? Yeah, I feel like I finally found some closure, too. Thank you, Rain. I don't think I'd have found the words to get through to Arthur if I hadn't met you. If I'd grown at all, it's only thanks to you and Eustace, and the rest of Class 7, too. Well, you're welcome. But you've helped me out, too. I think I can put a little more trust in the future now. Who knows, I might be able to reach some understanding with my own father. Right. Guess none of this even compares to that. You've got your work cut out for you. You know you can always count on me for anything. You're a good friend, Machias. Thank you. So there we go, we get the... Huh.